Hey guys, Rob with Trophy Hunter Supply. Been getting a lot of questions regarding mechanical advantage of broadheads and how it impacts a hunting setup, how, what it actually changes, what it affects. So I just wanted to do a quick run through of how you calculate it and then what it actually means, for your setup. Now, what you have is, I'm just going to hook this up here. So what you have is, if you take a broadhead and you measure the horizontal cutting length, and then you measure either from the widest point to the center line, or you measure the cutting diameter and divide it by 2. So actual, widest point cutting diameter. What you do is you take that horizontal cutting length, you divide it by half of the cutting width, so it's a center line, and then you divide it by the number of blades. What that gives you is the mechanical advantage of the inclined plane that your cutting edge creates. So drastically different, just for an example, but these two heads. Now, this one has a much longer cutting length and is much narrower. What that does is that it takes a lot less effort to push this through a material than this. This is trying to cut all of that material nearly all at once, which can be quite a bit of resistance. So just to throw some numbers here, I took measurements and went ahead and did this before. So the Ashby is at 2.14. Now this is a modified one. Most of these out of the box are around 2.5, 2.6. This one I actually hit a rock with after blasting through a target last year. I then ground it down, reshaped it, and so it's a bit shorter, and you kind of lose some of that clean line on the tip. I just kind of rounded it out to make sure she spun right. The Silver Flame Double XL wide two blade, this one is at 1.1. The Maasai two blade single bevel, this is at 1.66. Let's see. This is a 3-blade head, QAD Exodus. This one is at 0.56. 3-blade mechanical. This is at 0.58. The 2-blade mechanical that I grabbed, this is actually a expandable, but it was the only thing I had on hand to demonstrate what a typical mechanical blade looks like for 2 blades. This one is at 0.18. And then one of the newcomers, just did a review on this, the Veteran from VIP. This is a 2-blade expandable, but on entry it's essentially fixed. This came in at a 1.8. So what this means is that for these two heads, if you had the same applied force, we're just going to use 1 pound of force as an example. With 1 pound applied, this head will generate, this is Maasai, 1.66 pounds of work. This, with the same applied force, 1 pound, would only generate 0.18 pounds of work. So with the same effort, same bow, same arrow, this head is going to give you drastically better penetration. Now, it depends what you're looking for. If you're wanting cutting width, you know, that's up to you. But as far as efficiency, as far as getting the most out of a setup, especially if you are a short draw and low poundage shooter, some of the kids, some of the women, some of the guys, if you're in that category, you might want to look at maximizing what you have. And all that can take is looking at how efficient the Broadhead is. It's been proven time and again that you don't need a giant cutting width to be very lethal. That's the heads that I run are typically, well, these two heads. These are just a little over an inch wide, just under an inch and an eighth. And you put it where you need it and it works. And that's really, you know, that's a whole nother topic. But what I wanted to show you, I already did this and got the numbers, but what I did just to demonstrate is I've got 2 sheets of cardboard, a whole bunch of them that I've already used, but arrow, and then scale. So just to demonstrate how much force is required to push it through a material, not super scientific here, but it gets the point across. So if we look at, let's grab Maasai. So it's going to be backwards, but 0. And ow. Helps if it doesn't turn off. So let's try this again here. So zeroed, get a fresh spot. And backwards, but 12.3. So it took 12.3 pounds of force to push that through the 2 layers of cardboard. Now, let's compare that to the lowest mechanical advantage. I don't know why I just screwed that on there. Just one of those days. So, find my rope here. Where did it go? Apparently, it disappeared. regardless, I already know what this one did, but for just example's sake, I want to show this. So all I'm doing is I'm getting the blades held open, because otherwise it'll just hang up. But now, you saw how easy the other one was. Now this, I've tried this 3 times now, and every time it just starts buckling the paper. And there's one, just buckled the other one. So, this is part of it, is you have that really low mechanical advantage, and it takes a ton of force. That's the 3 times that I'd done it before this. I was getting 45 to 50 pounds before the cardboard buckled. So now you look at, I was a little over 12, 13 pounds if I average them all out, to 45. So especially if you're shooting like my wife, 42 pounds, 26-inch draw. There's not a lot of energy, there's not a lot of force there. I want to conserve and be as efficient as possible with the force that she has. So if you've got, you know, like me, I'm shooting 70-30, you can get away with shooting all kinds of stuff. You can get away with a lot of inefficiencies, but that doesn't mean that it's not inefficient. So I would highly recommend you look at what your broadhead is actually doing for you, and if you have questions, stop into the shop, comment, message us on our Facebook. But I mean, out of the heads that I tested here, you had 2-blade Maasai. Now there is a version of this that is straight edged that is going to be more efficient. This contour does decrease it a little bit, but you look at that, and that was at 1.66. But then for the mechanical guys, if you want that larger cut, here, this is at 1.8. This was getting nearly the same force required as this. And when that hits and it opens, now you've got your wide cut through the vitals if that's what you feel that you need. But the big benefit is that this is efficient on entry, and it can collapse back down on exit. Any questions, feel free to message us, give us a call, stop in the shop, give the page a like, subscribe, and if you want to see something, if you have questions on something, let us know, and we'll see if we can do a video for you. Thanks.